Hey, what's going on? It's your girl, Lady Sola. I hope everybody's doing good. What I want to get into on this video is giving my full reaction to the Jess Hilarious, Loren LaRosa situation that has been taking place on the Breakfast Club for the last 2 weeks. There's been a lot of back and forth. There's been a lot of emotions and thoughts shared individually from Jess to the public conversation that they had on air as a team, to even the aftermath of what came of them, talking it out. So I want to get into everything, and I want to start from the beginning of how it came to be that Jess decided to get on live and start going off. It all started somewhere, right? So I definitely want to start at the beginning. And I think that can't be done without addressing Corey Holcomb. I think that individual in particular is the reason why everything escalated the way it did. So what I want to do right now is to get into just looking over a couple videos. So I'm going to start with Jess. She recently was on Club Shay Shay, and that interview has gone viral. But she did address the history between her and Corey Holcomb, who is another fellow comedian. I believe he is from Chicago. So shout out to Corey. He is pretty funny. He's been in the comedy game for I want to say over 20 years now. And he now has a popular podcast, which I think is called 5150, with a couple of other co-hosts. And, so I'm going to get into what started their issues, which happened a couple years ago. And then we'll get into the comments that he made about Jess on the Breakfast Club.
Corey Holcomb. That is a comedian that I got into it with. I did a photo shoot with my son, and it went viral. I was naked. My son was not. My son had on Jordans. The only thing I had on was Jordans and socks. Okay. And he was covering me. Right. He was covering my boobs, my private area, and he had on clothes. And I did the shoot. I posted it. It goes viral. Right. The next morning, I wake up to Corey Holcomb calling me a whore and, a black whore, and saying that my son would be gay. And this is why a lot of our young black men are gay, because of black whores like Jess Hilarious.
Okay, so what she's talking about is several years ago when her first son, Ashton, was much younger. I want to say he was probably 3 or 4 years old at the time. She did a photo shoot with him. These photos did go super viral. I remember when it came out, and basically she's sitting on the ground, photo shoot environment, white backdrop. She has her hair, her weave, down, and she has her son, where she's cradling him, and they're sitting on the ground. And looking at the photo, it's kind of hard to tell, if she has on clothes at all, or if he has on clothes. From the angles of the photos, it does look like they're both naked. This did spark a lot of negative backlash. A lot of people did not like the concept of the photos. They thought it was weird. They thought it was inappropriate. They just thought as a mom and a young child, it was just an odd look. You know what I mean? It's not something that's typical to see. So a lot of people were not feeling it. They thought it was weird, and Corey Holcomb was one of those people.
Things like that. And he was.
Do you know him?
I do not know. I still have not got the chance to see this man. That was the reason why I went to Wild 'N Out, to see this man.
And you didn't, and he wasn't there that day?
No, I made the show, but I'm like, thank you, Nick, but where's Corey? He's no, he ain't here. So why you? Because you know why I'm coming up here, Nick. Because that's why you reached out to me, because I flamed him. I was roasting him back to back 3 days straight. And that's why you reached out, Nick. You knew I wanted to see him.
Oh boy. So her main reason for wanting to go on Wild 'N Out was to catch Corey Holcomb outside and on set. Okay, that was the only reason she came up to that show. And Nick knew what he was doing. He probably knew Corey had a conflict and wasn't going to be scheduled for that episode. Maybe he told him. Maybe he gave him a heads up like, hey, I've been talking to Jess and she's down to do the show. And he's like, I'm out, which is pretty interesting because he be talking a lot. He does a lot of chomping, online. So I wonder if it was something where Nick gave him the heads up and gave him the chance to decide, does he want to stay? Does he want to show up for the episode? Does he not? Or if it was something where coincidentally he just was not available to do the show. Either way, Jess was like, dang it. I was about to light his ass up at that show. And they still have not seen each other to this day. That's crazy. He
said, no, but you got on the show. Thank you.
You let it go now?
Hell no, I ain't let it go. No, I didn't let it go. I mean, it wasn't even so much about him talking about me. You don't say that kind of thing about somebody's child. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You just don't say stuff like that, But then I realized he don't have a relationship with his mother. You know what I mean? He doesn't have a relationship with his kids. He told one of his kids, F them, he'll make another one. So it's, and he, the way he talks about his family, so I'm like, he has other issues, obviously, very dirty person.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's go into what I would say kind of kicked off her frustrations and that live that she did where she was, very upset and very fed up with the Breakfast Club. I think this is the straw that broke the camel's back. This is Corey Holcomb on his podcast where he was spilling some tea about what was going down at the Breakfast Club earlier this year.
Well, this is what happened at the Breakfast Club. She took that job. She got that job because I think she had a social media presence. I can't imagine why else.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah.
She got that job. And I always said she wasn't talented. She got the job and got knocked up shortly afterwards. And the worst thing in the world happened. They brought in somebody who was talented.
Who they bring in?
Homegirl from she used to be on TMZ.
Yeah.
Oh.
She has experience with doing that. When she talks, her voice, I don't know her name.
Yeah.
The girl who is Loren. That girl know what she doing.
Okay, so he said two things. He said, on one hand, Jess Hilarious is not talented. On the other hand, he said that Loren LaRosa is talented and is very skilled and she knows what she's doing. I disagree with him saying that Jess Hilarious is not talented. I feel like he's being personal because they don't like each other. They have had beef for like over a decade now. Like I said, starting from the photo that she took with her son and all the things that he said, and then she roasted him back to back to back after that. And they've just been going back and forth ever since then. So it's very obvious that he is trying to make a claim that she's not talented as if that's a fact. When, in my opinion, I think she's very funny. I mean, there are people that think she's not really funny. They don't see it. They don't get it. I think she's hilarious. I've always loved her skits, just how real she is. She's Baltimore through and through, and I think she's very creative. I think she keeps it real. She says things that sometimes pushes the boundaries or gets her in trouble. But overall, as a comedian, that's going to come with the territory. If you are a comedian that's really willing to take risks, you might get yourself in trouble. Your mouth might get you in trouble from time to time. But I think she's very talented, and that's the reason why she has been able to parlay her way through the industry and moving up and moving around and doing different gigs. If she wasn't talented, she would be washed up by now. She wouldn't have gotten Wild 'N Out. She wouldn't have, gotten a podcast deal with Charlemagne's Black Effects Network, she wouldn't have gotten the job at the Breakfast Club. They are good friends, and they have been good friends over the years. So there is this narrative that, well, you know why she got the job. He put her in that position, and that was that. But I do think she is talented nonetheless. I also agree that Loren is good as well. I haven't been watching The Breakfast Club for a long time now. I just kind of phased out of it. I used to always watch the interviews. I don't anymore. The show is not the same as it was before. But from the little clips that I've heard from Loren LaRosa and the little bit that I've heard since she's been filling in on the show, oh yeah, she definitely brings a different cachet for sure. She is eloquent. She is intelligent. She comes with the facts. She gets in depth with her research. She speaks clearly and concisely. She elevates the show as far as the information and the credibility of the stories that are being reported on. And I think that is something that Angela Yee always did. And, I think Loren is doing a great job, and she does have a background coming from TMZ. And I can't imagine the craziness that TMZ can bring as far as working there. The woman is well-trained, well-seasoned. This is nothing new to her, being in media and stuff like that, and just knowing some jobs and what it requires and the turnaround time for TMZ stories. Like, they're putting out stories constantly 24/7. Like, there's no break. So to be working in that, like, this is probably like light work for her, to be honest. Work coming from TMZ and going to a 2 or 3 hour radio show, like, no wonder she's killing it, right? Because she has literally been seasoned from TMZ. So she has that experience, and it's ingrained in her. So yeah, let's get back to it.
She knows how to fit in with Charlemagne and the other guy, DJ Envy. It's like it's seamless when she there.
Right.
It's the talent. The talent shows out, and then Jess Hilarious ain't even reading right.
So that video is what sent Jess over the edge and led her to do her own Instagram live reaction, not only, airing out what was going on at the Breakfast Club, but how she felt about it. Let's check it out.
I didn't like her when I came back because I'm like, all right, what's going on? What's going on? She knew it. We had a conversation because the anger was misplaced. Nah, it ain't even you that I don't like. I'm realizing this is the way these niggas is doing shit up here that I don't like. Okay, got it. Now, it's her segment. I went to the person who does the intros, the sounds. Went to Taylor. Yo, Taylor, make Loren her intro. Take Jess with the mess, all that shit. She says, things can't just change like that. Why the fuck not? Why not? Y'all changing everything else, and I'm the only one that don't know. My goofy ass don't know nothing. I'm just coming to work every day, just zippity-doo-dah-day, and you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, take my name out that shit. Jess with the Mess is not at Breakfast Club. I'm Jess Hilarious up here. Damn! Fuck, I'm Jessica Moore up here. Jess with the Mess is not being done. Loren LaRosa is doing the shit. So that need to be her segment. I fought for that segment. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? While her fans and her people is in the Breakfast Club people and the people in the comments, man, I'm not ready to sit up here and act like I don't see that shit. Are y'all crazy? One thing I ain't never try to do is act unbothered unless shit never bothered me, man. What? You try coming back to work. You try to come back to work, and the motherfucker is right there at your desk, and ain't nobody telling you shit, mind you. Nobody telling you nothing, mind you. Before you know it, everybody thinking you're the villain. Like, I'm the villain because I didn't know shit. I'm sick of that. I'm very, very sick of that. I'm sick of the shit. It's weird. It's weird. I don't fuck with it. Just be quiet up there. I'm not fighting over no mic space. I'm not fighting over no mic. That's why I went from shut up and hushed to not saying nothing. No. I'm not gonna compete where I already won this competition. I didn't know it was supposed to be for. If this was presented to me, prior to hire, then I wouldn't have been so shocked. Like, oh shit, all right, cool. So when we bringing in the fourth person, shit, that's what's up. Cool. It's on.
So that's really the issue that Jess had, is that there was no communication from the executive producers, from upper management at the Breakfast Club about when she went out on maternity leave, there will potentially be some changes. There should have been some conversation between then and now to inform her that they either always had intentions of having a fourth host, or somewhere along the way they arrived at this decision that they want to get a fourth host, and that just didn't happen. You know what I mean? And that's why she was so pissed off and felt like blindsided, which I feel like anybody in that situation would definitely be upset and confused and be feeling like they got to watch their back, because are y'all trying to get me up out of here? Like, what is going on? That's super weird. And y'all are not being transparent. You're not being forthcoming with the plans here and talking behind the scenes to figure out what are we looking to do and how are we going to go about doing it. And they have plenty of opportunities to inform her, to reach out to her, even while she was on maternity leave. There's no reason why things should have escalated to this. Like, they should have been in communication with her when she was at home. Like, come on, if you want to keep Loren because she's doing a great job, well, that's fantastic. Just let everybody involved on the show know what's going on. She shouldn't be coming back thinking and imagining that, oh, she's returning to her seat. It's going to be the three of them. Like, why would she be thinking anything else unless y'all have updated her on there being a change? She's transitioning from being, an online comic personality to being a more professional corporate employee. So they should have handled it behind the scenes, but because she did do this live, here we are. Yeah.
Only time for that segment, you know what I'm saying? We had a meeting today to restructure the show and shit like that. Fuck out of here. That went crazy too. Listen, it's a lot of shit. It's a lot of things that I deal with. I ain't expecting not one motherfucker to feel sorry for me, because that's not what I'm looking for. I don't care. And I haven't said a motherfucking thing at all. I haven't said anything. This the crazy thing, yo. I'm gonna let y'all know this. The craziest shit is, right? I wanted Breakfast Club so bad. I wanted it. I grew up on the show. The fuck? Like, what? Hall of Fame show? What are we talking about? Syndicated? This ain't my first time doing radio, but I'm just saying, like, this is the biggest fucking show culturally. You know what I'm saying? I was eating that shit up the whole year I co-hosted. Eating that shit up until I...
Well, it was the biggest show culturally. They've kind of fallen off. But, all this behind the scenes drama is definitely putting Breakfast Club back where they used to be. So kudos to y'all.
I had to leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had a baby. In this industry, what I'm doing ain't no right time to have a baby, so you have them when you have them.
Yeah, I want to speak on that too. Ain't no right time to have a baby, so you have them when you have them. As women in any industry, any working woman, there really isn't a right time to have a baby. There's a such thing as planning and, really trying to map out, when you would want to get pregnant. But even then, it still may not be exactly like you planned it to be. And when you work in an industry like this, like, there's never any right time, because to take off time for anything is already a big deal. It's already so difficult. It's just a different world from other industries, because you don't just get all these paid holidays and vacation time. Like, you get vacation time, but to utilize your time, you could be judged for that, or you may lose your job, or your team may give you a hard time. The producer that you work under may give you a hard time because they expect you to be there, because the content has to keep going, whether it's for television, whether it's radio, or any network where these networks are on air 24/7. Someone's got to be there to produce these shows and to telecast and all that stuff. So there's no, oh, I can just take off and it not be a big deal. There's always that added weighted pressure. And we see how this played out for Jess Hilarious. Want to move on to what happened the next morning. So let's get into what happened in studio when both Loren LaRosa and Jess showed up to work.
No,
But
you never pulled me nowhere to tell me that.
Because the way that I do things when it comes to my job and my career, that's not what we on. And I told you from the jump, I was never going to give that to you. Ever.
Okay.
And I did I not? Our first conversation, I said, if I ever have an issue with you, I'm going to handle it in a way where we can get through a conversation because we grown. And regardless, you don't got to love me. You don't got to like me, but we here together. I'm here.
And listen, like I said earlier, the internet loves mess.
Yes, you
and,
are
and,
here.
And one of the easiest ways to create mess is
here,
to pit women against each other.
And you're here because of an opportunity that I extended.
Regardless
like
of-
that's no. I'm not sitting here like you don't deserve to be here. I'm not sitting here like you're not here. You're not going anywhere. That's not. That's first and foremost. Let's get that. It may be my delivery or whatever, but yeah, you are here. I ain't never say you shouldn't be here. I said from the whole jump, yeah, Shorty do the job great. She's amazing. That's why I want it to be her segment.
I think y'all can work very well together. And once again, you got to stop letting the internet pit y'all against each other. I know the internet has created a narrative, Loren versus Jess versus Loren.
Then that's what it is.
Charlamagne, no. That's not what Jess is doing, and that's not what she's upset about. She's not trying to place emphasis on the comments. She did mention it in her live, or I think she mentioned it in the interview here, briefly, but her rooted issue was the lack of communication between the Breakfast Club staff and team, production team, management, all the folks that contribute to this show. That was where her issue came from, not all the chatter from online and from the comments and they trying to pit two women against each other. It was the fact that y'all did not let her know that Loren will be sticking around, that, hey, so much has happened since you've been at home nursing your baby. Congratulations. We want to fill you in on some things, right? Loren has graduated from temp fill-in to a senior news producer. Hello, that's a major promotion. You don't think Jess should be filled in on that? Oh, and by the way, she's also going to have a seat at the table. Yeah. The table you sit at with the mics and all that. Yeah, that room, the same room, she going to be there with y'all too. Like, come on now. So that's really what she's upset about. And I feel like there is gaslighting going on. Charlamagne is, being Charlamagne, always trying to create a joke when sometimes it's not a laughing matter. This has always been his MO, is to try to make light of stuff. And sometimes it's just not appropriate. It's not going over well.
And that's what I'm trying to say is the internet is there. We see it. None of us can ignore it. I saw that Corey thing a week ago. Didn't say nothing about
but
it.
Y'all clear up everything else. Nobody want to clear up that I'm not feeling it. I don't like you, or I'm hating on a.
They say I'm gay.
I
came up here and said I don't suck no pee-pee. That's true, though.
That's different now. Come on.
The last time I attempted to do that, Jess, it went so bad that I said I wasn't going to do it again.
Attempted to do what?
I don't dislike you. You don't dislike me. The day you came back. That's what my intentions was. And we talked about
Women's History
Month. That was different. The way when I did come back, Loren, you have to admit that ish was crazy. The way we had a setup, we had something going, we had a whole nother plan. It went left. You came in here and it's like you did something totally different. The first thing that you spoke to was the things in the comments.
If you really break it down, it wasn't Jess that was fixated on the comments. It was Loren that brought it up front and center as soon as the show started, when it was her first day back. So what is she supposed to do? She's bringing up the comments and how oh, so many people, and she probably is exaggerating it. Oh my goodness, so many people I've been running into have been telling me constantly how much they like me over you. And it just pierces my heart. I just hate to hear that, because I just feel like they trying to pit us against each other, and it's the last thing I want. Jess, girl, you've been so generous just giving me this opportunity, and I just wanted to fill in. That's all I was looking to do. I didn't know all this was going to happen after I worked my ass off and performed better than you. I didn't know they was going to be feeling that and seeing the difference. So I had to tell those folks in the streets, like, y'all, pipe down. Jess is amazing. We love her. I love her. We don't want to see her get booted from the show. Come on. Loren, you know what you was doing. It was very savvy. I will say that. It was very savvy. My only disagreement is that she took it to her live. And, it was funny. Some parts of it, I was laughing because of the way she talks and stuff. But that's my only disagreement. Her feeling upset, her feeling away, her wanting to speak out and lash out, all those things is totally understandable. And it's within reason, in my opinion. So after this tense conversation on air, everybody was wondering, ooh, that was kind of awkward. That was pretty intense, right? Like, where are they going to go from here? Is Jess going to come back the next day? Are people going to start missing work? Is it going to be icy on air? Like, are we going to start feeling the tension? There was a lot of speculation that Jess's days are numbered. Her contract, there's no way it's going to get renewed, because she just played her way right out of her position, and Loren has slid her way right in, and Jess is literally doing all the things that she shouldn't have done, blah, 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 blah. Well, fast forward to about a week later, they just put out The Boy Is Mine rendition, and it is featuring none other than Jess Hilarious and Loren LaRosa. Oh, man. This is what you call excellent PR. Excellent PR. I loved everything about this. I just 10 out of 10, to be honest. 10 out of 10. The fact that they turned a very awkward, negative, toxic situation into a marketing move, into something that's going to put the Breakfast Club back on the map, and also show that two women can have a moment, have a disagreement, have some misunderstandings, but work through it in real time and kind of get back to a good place. It shows that there is successful conflict resolution. This is what it looks like. And you're spinning it with creativity, with music, remixing one of the biggest female duet songs of the 90s or of all time. The Boy Is Mine, smash record with Brandy and Monica, and also them not tweaking the vocals and putting no auto-tune or nothing on it. And they non-singing asses. They did their thing though. This was really good. This was really entertaining. Just doing all her dance moves. She got on the wedge heels that Monica wears. I don't remember where she wears these heels at, but when you see it, you're like, that look familiar. But no, it really goes to show that there is a way to work things out. And if you notice at the end of this music video, they're walking away and they hold hands at the end. So let's go to that. It's very subtle, but you see, right at the end, they hold hands, they walk out together. So that signifies unity. It signifies that they forgive each other, that they support each other. So I think that's amazing. So let's see where this goes, right? Like this is something that has to be monitored. We don't know how this is going to really play out. If they're going to stay in a good place, if there's going to be up and down moments, if the tension is going to resurface at some point, we don't know. I hope that it doesn't. I hope that they can continue to coexist and have 4 seats. I think it's totally doable, and it does look like they have good chemistry as far as like how they converse with each other on air. Jess has gone on the record to say that they have grown their friendship organically and that they have just become cool over time, and that's the reason why she recommended her in the first place, because you know she rocks with her and she knows that she does good work, you know. So hopefully this really is just turning a negative into a positive, and where this whole 4-seat thing can work out for the long run. I hope it does, because they both do add a lot of unique things to the table that each other doesn't have. You know, Loren does have that journalistic flow. She does have that experience, the everything, the way she pronounces her words, the cadence, the tone. She does this. She's a natural, you know, and she reports the news in a way that is fulfilling for the listener, and where the listener can really feel like they know what's going on. And it's very clear. It's very organized. Jess is a comedian. I mean, she's funny. You know what I mean? Like, she can bring so many things to the table. It depends on the day of the week. It depends on the story, the conversation. Like, and she's not afraid to defend herself. She's not afraid to give a raw opinion. Like, you know what I mean? So I think it's pretty cool now that they are balanced with 2 guys and 2 gals. And honestly, to be honest, I feel like the 2 of them are going to be outshining Charlamagne and Envy more than not. That's just my opinion. The last thing I want to get into is Angela Yee, because a lot of people were curious to see what her reaction would be, because Jess did mention her in the live, like, ooh, I don't know how that lady did it for 13 years. All I know is Angela ain't crazy. Y'all can't sit up here and tell me she crazy, okay? Because I don't know how she stuck around at this job, because, baby, these people driving me up a wall.
Well, I would say this. When I initially left, they did say they were going to hire 2 people. So that was always the plan. So, I'm going to be honest, I don't know what's communicated to anybody. I know Jess was out on maternity leave, and I know that's tough, too, coming back. I know she's expressed, you know, having a baby, postpartum, all of those things take a toll. And Loren works really hard. And Jess does, too. Like, she's on the road, and I think part of why they hired her was because of that. Like, she does comedy shows, she goes on the road. That adds a lot to the show.
Has a strong following.
Yeah. But I think a lot of times it is social media that tends to get people riled up. It's outside forces. It's not what's in the room, and that's what makes tension sometimes build. But what is good is when you can have a blow up and then work through it. And so we just have to see it publicly play out. But I think it looks like they're really working through it. And I feel like this can be an advantage because a lot of people can relate to blow-ups in the workplace, and then how do you move forward from that? Because sometimes the resentment can just build and build and build, and then everything falls apart. But if you can catch it early on, that's a good way to make sure, let's squash this.
All right, so you heard it from Angela Yee that they were able to work through the blow-up, and it also shows other people, everyday people that are hardworking, working in corporate America, how to work through things and how to get to the other side of it, that it is possible. But yeah, they try to get her to slip up and say a little, you know, a little extra, but she wasn't going for it. But yeah, I mean, that's my whole take on, you know, on this whole situation. Jess Hilarious, Loren LaRosa, Breakfast Club. Hopefully they will continue to work together. It looks like, you know, everything is going well. Jess had a Club Shay Shay interview that is doing good numbers. It has over 1 million views so far. So he put that out like right after all this happened. Loren LaRosa announced a couple of days ago that she was given a podcast deal on Charlamagne's Black Effect podcast network with iHeart, which will be called The Latest with Loren LaRosa. Shout out to Loren. She understood the assignment. She went from you just going to be filling in for a good 6 months. Thank you for your services to I am here. Congrats to both ladies. If they're smart, they will continue to see the value in working together and not working against each other. And, onward and upward. I wish them all the best. And I hope that this helps to bring their relevancy back as well. So that is my thoughts on Jess Hilarious, Loren LaRosa, Breakfast Club. Let me know in the comments what you thought about all this. This was a crazy story. What do you think about Jess's position? What do you think about Loren's position in all of this? Charlamagne, Envy, their reactions. Do you think Jess could have reacted or brought her grievances in a different way? Do you understand where she was coming from, why she was so upset? Do you feel like Envy and Charlamagne were low-key gaslighting her? What do you think about Corey Holcomb? Like, he really just lit the fire. He low-key probably saved Jess's job in a roundabout way, which is kind of funny when you think about it. Because if he didn't go and start gossiping about what was going on behind the scenes, Jess wouldn't have been pushed to say, you know what, I need to say something. And all of this wouldn't have happened. So in a crazy roundabout way, your arch nemesis, Jess, Corey, may have just helped you out. Ain't that something, Corey? You see what I'm saying? I think you just saved her job. The lady you can't stand, the less hilarious that ain't talented, you just bought her some more time on that show. Well, that's all I got for y'all. I will talk to y'all soon. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, click the notification bell, all that good stuff. And I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.